Good afternoon. Will you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon. My name is John Ebersold. I'm the coordinator for the Walker Memorial, and it's my pleasure to welcome you. Welcome to our scouts and scouters, our families and friends, our distinguished guests from the heart of the New England Council, and State Senator Ann Goby, who's with us as well. If I could please, at this time, ask representatives from the Home Troop 257 North Brookfield, please lower the flag on the main staff to half staff, please. The other side. Salute. That's good, thank you. Two. Guests may be seated. At this time, I'd like to call forward Ryan LaRoche from the Walker Memorial Committee to read the Walker Memorial history.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of the dedication of the Ronald E. Walker Scouting Memorial and the Walker Memorial Gardens by Norman Walker to honor the memory of his son. As a boy, Ron had been active in Troop 128, chartered to St. Joseph's Church here in North Brookfield. Because both father and son shared a love of scouting, and because scouting had brought them so close to one another, the idea for a living memorial to scouting was born. With Mr. Walker providing the design and supervision, construction started in late 1969. The garden was dedicated on Memorial Day, May 25th, 1970. The Heart of New England Council of the Boy Scouts of America has traditionally gathered on the Saturday after Memorial Day each year to honor the departed members of the scouting community. This year's services was postponed until October due to the COVID-19 concerns. It will be returning to its traditional date in 2022. The life-size statue of the Boy Scout was carved in Vermont. It represents all members of the scouting movement, past, present, and future. Through the generosity of Mr. Walker, perpetual maintenance of the Memorial Garden is assured.
Thank you, Ryan. At this time, I would like to call forward Mr. Joe Klimovich, who is a Distinguished Eagle Scout and who has a long history with the Walker Memorial. I'd like to ask him to say a few words about his recollections of Walker Memorial's past.
Thank you, John, and thank you for having me here today. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Norman Walker, who created this wonderful memorial to his son and to scouting. Mr. Walker was a man I admired. When I was growing up, Mr. Walker had one of the largest farms in nearby New Braintree, where he raised thousands of chickens. He became quite wealthy, wholesaling eggs to stores throughout Worcester County. When his son Ronald joined Troop 128 in North Brookfield, Mr. Walker cleared a campsite on his property for the Scouts to use. My earliest memories as a young member of Troop 128 are of camping on Mr. Walker's farm. I remember setting up camp, baking peach cobbler in a Dutch oven, and winter camping. I was sure we'd freeze to death, but learned that packing snow around the bottom of our tent kept us cozy and warm. I remember sharing stories around a campfire and visits from Chief Walkalong, whose spirit inhabited the woods around our camp. I remember sitting around the campfire and singing, "Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya, Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya." Opening up his property to the Scouts was typical Mr. Walker. He was a committed community volunteer and a role model who helped establish his town's fire department and later served as a volunteer firefighter. He was one of 3 members of a committee that explored the possibility of a regional vocational school that eventually became Pathfinder Regional Vocational Technical School. When his son Ronald was stricken with kidney disease, Mr. Walker was shocked to discover that no dialysis machines existed in the area hospitals, so he bought one, the first one in the city of Worcester for Worcester Memorial Hospital. And when Ronald died, Mr. Walker dedicated himself to the creation and perpetual care of this memorial, not just to his son, but to the many members of the scouting community, so that all might be remembered. I was pleased as a young Eagle Scout to participate in the very first memorial service on May 25th, 1970, which happened to have been my birthday, along with other members of Troop 128, whose names you may recognize: Bob Paraso, Michael McCarthy, John Harrington, and others. Through the years, Mr. Walker remained a close friend and mentor. I served as an altar boy at his wife's funeral. He celebrated with me when I graduated from college. He attended our wedding. And when our daughter was born, Mr. Walker appeared at our front door with a gift for her, a beautiful doll. He always remembered us. Singer Josh Groban performed a song for the movie Troy that was aptly titled Remember. Here are a few of the lyrics. Remember, I will still be here as long as you hold me in your memory. I'm with you whenever you tell my story, for I am all I've done. Mr. Walker died 30 years ago this month at the age of 81, but his memory, the memory of his son Ronald, and the memory of all Scouters through the years is with us today, so long as we continue to tell their story.
Thank you, Joe. At this time, I'd like to call forward the Heart of New England Council Scout Executive, Mr. Mark Burnett.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here today representing the Executive Board and all the members of the Council. Scouting is a wonderful program, as you each know, but it's an amazing program because it's passed on generation by generation. Each generation instills the values of scouting into young people, creating the leaders for the next generation. For over 110 years, scouting has continued because of that great tradition of great people caring about youth and wanting to see the world a better place. Scouting helps the world become a better place, and we're all driven to improve the lives of young people and their families. There's no better legacy to leave than that of scouting. We're changing the world. You're changing the world. And all those in the past who we've lost have helped change the world. You know, we are one council and we are one scouting family. And we are a family. Each of us are connected by the passion of scouting, by what it does for young people and what it has done for us. We're one family who cares deeply for one another. And we always appreciate our leaders and our volunteers, because scouting is a volunteer-driven, volunteer-led organization. I just want to say thank you for inviting us to be here today to this very proper service to remember those who brought us here today, who brought us scouting for today's generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I'd now like to invite Ann Goby, Massachusetts State Senator, to please come forward and say a few words on behalf of the Commonwealth.
They always put these way too high. Good afternoon. I want to say thank you to John for inviting me. This is the first time that I've come to this ceremony, and I didn't even realize that you had done this every single year for 50 years. I think it's fantastic. And Joe, I enjoyed hearing about that personal connection, and you sound like an extremely special person. And you got a good voice too, Joe. The Kumbaya was good. When you were talking about being an altar boy, and I know you mentioned Bobby Pariseau and Mike McCarthy, they weren't. No, I don't know. Maybe they were, but I know those two. I would find it hard to believe if they were. I want to say thank you, though, to the scouts that are here. I started the day with many of the folks with Troop 161. We had an Eagle Scout ceremony this morning for Spencer Fancy, and I know I see his dad over there and see the other folks from the troop. But it's really nice for the scouts to be here because, you know, this is part of scouting, too. To be somewhere, to be able to think about those who have passed on. And when Joe was talking about Mr. Walker, someone who I did not know, but, you know, I think for anyone, you know, for a parent who has to lose a child, you know, how horrible that is. And as a parent, I suppose you can do two things. You can choose to not share, right? And nobody would blame you, that you kind of keep to yourself and maybe become kind of a shell. Or you do what Mr. Walker did, and that you opened up, and that you put something for people to enjoy and to make sure that it's a true remembrance that people live on. And when I looked at the names of the people who've passed away this past year and the past 2 years, you know, men and women who are so important, not just to scouting, but really iconic for this entire region. And so for the family members that are here, the spouses and the children, the grandchildren of those people who have passed on, this is a wonderful tribute for them as well. And I know that this is probably a very difficult day for many of you because, of course, over these past year and a half, it's been very difficult for us to get together. And it's nice to be able to do that, to come together in times of sorrow and in times of happiness, and to be able to come together and to enjoy those things and to be together, because it's about community, and that's what scouting is about. So again, I want to thank you, John, for inviting me to be with all of you today. God bless you. God bless our scouts.
At this time, I'd like to ask Ryan LaRoche to come forward and say a few words and lead us in, a couple of readings.
The King James Version, Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for in his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. A Scouter's Prayer. We have hiked along life's pathway, our packs upon our backs. We have pitched our tents and rested, here and there along the tracks. We have used our compass wisely to guide us on our way and hope to reach the campsite of our great Chief Scout someday. We have tried to be trustworthy, to keep our honor high and clean. We have been as loyal as any to our country or our queen. We have done our best at all times, kept our promise, been prepared, and hope these good deals please him when at last our souls are bared. We have lightened others' burdens with our smiles along the way. We have kept our hand in God's hand, walked beside him day by day. And when our lifespan runs out, we will make this gentle plea. May we sit around his campfire at the final jamboree.
I would now like to ask Walker Memorial Committee person Michelle McCrillis to read the memorial roll call.
Ann's right. You don't believe that some of us are short. You ready? Earl Banks.
Longtime Scout leader from Littleton, attended national and world jamborees, Boy Scout of the Year in 1949, Silver Beaver, William H. Spurgeon Exploring Award recipient, founded the Littleton Explorer Post in the early 1980s, and he was the curator of the Scouting Spirit Museum.
Michael Boucher.
Michael was a Webelos leader with Pac 7 in Leominster and committee member with Troop 11, also from Leominster.
Lester Boyer.
A lifelong Scout and Scouter with Troop 26 in Barrie, where he served as treasurer. He helped the troop with their activities, particularly enjoyed their ham and bean suppers.
Paul Brown.
Longtime Scout leader with Troop 54 in Worcester, serving as Assistant Scoutmaster, and committee member. Prior to that, he was a leader with Pac 91. He has two Eagle Scout sons, Patrick and Michael, the husband of longtime Scouter Michelle Brown. He was a District Award of Merit winner for the Quinsigamond District, and he was a Silver Beaver Mohegan Council recipient.
Peter Casey.
Peter was active in scouting for over 50 years with the Mayflower Council, serving as Scoutmaster and Council President. Wood Badge Course Leader, President of the New England area, Regional Commissioner of the Northeast Region, and a member of the National Advisory Council.
Wanda Chamberlain.
The mother of longtime Scouter Tom Chamberlain from Sturbridge Troop 161 and 163 Mohegan and Heart of New England Councils, and his brothers Bill and Russell were also Scouts. The grandmother of longtime Scouter Pristi Chamberlain, Scoutmaster of Sturbridge Troop 163, Mohegan, Nashua Valley, and Heart of New England Council.
Nestor Chevalier.
Nestor joined the Dominican Scouts in 1975, serving the youth in the Dominican Republic. Professional Boy Scout America District Executive with Mohegan Council. He developed the Urban Emphasis Program in Worcester's inner city. He established Troop 77 with the Centro Las Americas, and 3 of Troop 77's original members became Eagle Scouts. Nestor is to be remembered for his passion, kindness, and concern for those in need.
Matt Conlon.
Also a scouting professional, having served in multiple positions in Mohegan, Theodore Roosevelt, and Heart of the American Councils. An Eagle Scout from 227 in Shrewsbury. Many years involved with camp staffs, fond memories of his time at Treasure Valley Scout Reservation. He was a vigil member of the Order of the Arrow, a former Packagug Lodge chief, a Wood Badge staffer, and scout camping and the mission of the BSA were his heart and soul. I can still hear him say, "Just do it, people."
Earl Cooley Sr.
Earl served as an institutional representative for both PAC and Troop 26 in Barrie for 59 years. His grandson Patrick is a Life Scout, and his granddaughter Kaylee is a Girl Scout Gold Award winner.
Brian Dion.
Brian was a former member of PAC 7, Our Lady of Laredo, Worcester, and a member of Troop 70 Covenant United Methodist Church at the time of his passing in 1977 at 15 years of age. His brother Jeff, who is currently an Assistant Scoutmaster with Troop 182 in Holden, asked that he be added to this year's list as we were unable to confirm if he was recognized at the time of his passing.
Paul Duhamel.
Paul's an adult leader with Groton Boy Scout Troop 3, who enjoyed sharing his skills with his children and members of the troop.
Philip Duquette.
Phil was a former youth member of Troop 161 when they were located in Fiskdale. He and his associate, Carl Bew, were members of the Skunk Patrol.
Richard Durant.
Originally from Acton and Hudson, Rich was an Eagle Scout. He was a scout leader with Troop 7 Shirley and a provisional scoutmaster at Camp Winoxet in the early 90s. He became a leader with Troop 2 Air and crew advisor in Shirley. A National Jamboree Scoutmaster in 2013, along with his daughter Maggie, who also served as an assistant scoutmaster.
John J. Eager.
Jay was a lifelong scout and scouter from Troop 237 Worcester, an Eagle Scout, vigil member of the Arrow, a Wood Badge staffer, a Merit Badge counselor, Mohegan Council Training Chair, District Award of Merit with the Quinsigamond District, Silver Beaver Mohegan Council, Treasure Valley Scout Reservation Camp Director, a friend of Treasure Valley, a member of the Treasure Valley Alumni Association. Jay gave over 40 years of cheerful service to our organization.
Michael Eggleston.
Michael was a former youth member of Leicester Troop 125.
Sheila Flynn.
Sheila was the mother of longtime Scouter Dan Flynn from Ware Troop 281, Mohegan, and Heart of New England Councils. Sheila was a 20-year Cub Scout leader for her 6 sons, 2 of whom went on to become Eagle Scouts, and she has 2 Eagle Scout grandsons.
Stephen Fogarty.
Longtime Scouter with North Brookfield Troop 257, serving as both treasurer and committee chair. Longtime Merit Badge counselor. One of his specialties was the Aviation Merit Badge. He has 2 Life Scout sons, Sean and Andrew.
Jane Ganley.
Jane is the mother of longtime Scouter and former Nashua Valley Council President Jim Ganley.
Robert Gomond.
Originally from Sturbridge, Bob was an Eagle Scout with a Gold Palm and a Pope Pius XII Religious Award recipient.
Richard Garvin.
Richard was a former Scoutmaster with Ware Troop 139.
Kimberly Gregoire.
Kim was the wife of former Assistant Scoutmaster and Scoutmaster from East Brookfield Troop 238, David Gregoire. Had 2 Eagle Scout sons, Jeremy and Christopher.
Edward Hall.
Ed was a past president and Mohegan Council Executive Board member and a Treasure Valley trustee. He's the grandfather of Holden Troop 182's Scoutmaster Glenn Sullivan.
Victor Ear Sr.
The father of longtime Scouter Victor Jr. from Millbury.
Eric Johansson.
A frequent participant with Holden Troop 182, assisting them with many events with his sons Clayton and Bennett.
Thomas Coles.
Former Scoutmaster and longtime leader with Acton Troop 284. He enjoyed camping, hiking, and leading bike trips.
George Langevin.
A longtime Scouter with Amesbury Troop 4, influenced the lives of countless young men, guiding them through summer camp at Treasure Valley for 34 consecutive years.
Everett Larson, Jr.
A former youth member of Leicester Troop 125.
Deanna Lesouyer.
Dee was the mother of longtime Scouter and chaplain Doug Mutton, frequent attendee with Doug at many scouting functions, including former Massasoit District Mohegan Council dinners and many, many Troop 161 functions.
Wayne Malquist.
Skip Barbara McIntosh, we'll go back to it.
No, you have it out of order.
Okay. Longtime Scouter with Mohegan Council and a friend of Treasure Valley. Wayne became a Scout and first attended summer camp at Treasure Valley in 1953.
Barbara McIntosh.
Barbara's the mother of North Brookfield Troop 257 Scoutmaster Corey McIntosh. She served as a den leader for PAC 128 and a committee member for Troop 257.
Barbara Mccall.
Barbara was the wife of longtime Scouter and shooting sports enthusiast Charlie Harris. Barb was a shooting sports enthusiast herself, having taught at many Cub Scout, Boy Scout, and venturing events, including Mass Jam, Big Mo, National Jamboree, and countless district and council camporees. District Award of Merit recipient, Silver Beaver, Distinguished Commissioner Service Award winner, and a Wood Badge participant.
Barbara Mccall.
I just did her.
Okay. He'll blame me for that afterwards, you know. Francis McCarthy.
Francis was a former professional BSA district executive in Greenwich, Connecticut and Nashua Valley Council, and served for many years as a trustee for Camp Split Rock in Ashburnham.
Leonard Mikelski, Sr.
Former Scoutmaster and committee member with Leicester Troop 125.
Alfred Perrin, Jr.
Son of Alfred Perrin Sr., who was a longtime assistant scoutmaster with Troop 201 and Troop 116 in Spencer. He was a former youth member of Troop 116.
Trevor Pierce.
An Eagle Scout from Jaffrey, New Hampshire, who loved scouting. He created an outdoor classroom at Jaffrey Grade School for his Eagle Project. He was also affiliated with Venture Crew 1 Gardner and Camp Winoxet Crew 1924. Former Camp Winoxet staff member for 3 years, who was particularly good at helping younger scouts who were homesick feel comfortable at camp.
James Pristi.
James is the father of longtime Paxton Troop 105 Scouter Mike Pristi, and he was a former Troop 105 committee member.
William Reynolds.
William is a former youth member of Leicester Troop 125.
Robert Shepherdson.
An assistant scoutmaster with Troop 16 and 72 in Athol. He and his wife Peg ran the annual Athol Hatchet Hunt for 35 years.
Arnold Simpson.
Arnold was the father of longtime scouter Ken Simpson from Sturbridge Troop 161 and 163, Mohegan and Heart of New England Councils. He's also the grandfather of Troop 161 Eagle Scout and Treasure Valley staff member Scott Simpson.
Stephen Zorn.
An Eagle Scout from Stoughton Troop 516. He completed shelving for the First United Methodist Church in Stoughton for his Eagle Project. He was also affiliated with Camp Winoxet Crew 1924 and a former Camp Winoxet staff member. All of these individuals and those we have recognized over the years were all committed to service to others. We are here today to honor their memories and to thank them for their service. Please join me in a moment of silence in their memories. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask representatives from Home Troop 257 to please lay the wreath at the Walker statue. And also someone from Cub Pack 128, also the home pack. I'd now like to ask Walker Memorial Committee member Robert Laflamme to please lead us in the singing of Scout Vespers. The lyrics are in the program. Falls the light of day as our campfire fades. fades away. Silently each scout should ask, have I done my daily task? Have I kept my honor bright? Can I guiltless sleep tonight? Have I done and have I dared everything to be prepared? I'd now like to ask Bob to read the letter from Lord Baden-Powell, the founder of Scouting.
Before I read this letter, I would like to say something to the girls who have joined Scouts BSA. You'll hear in this letter addressed to boys, and this letter was written a long time ago. I've had the honor and pleasure of working at jamborees, attending jamborees, and also at high adventure bases where many young ladies have been part of the program and doing a wonderful job. And so what I'd like to say to you is, please hear in this letter a welcome from us to our organization, and don't just hear boys. The following message was found among Baden-Powell's papers after his death. To Boy Scouts, dear Scouts, if you have ever seen the play Peter Pan, you will remember how the pirate chief was always making his dying speech because he was afraid that possibly when the time came for him to die, he might not have time to get it off his chest. It is much the same with me, and so, although I am not at this moment dying, I shall be doing so one of these days, and I want to send you a parting word of goodbye. Remember, it is the last you will ever hear from me, so think it over. I have had a most happy life, and I want each one of you to have a happy life too. I believe that God put us in this jolly world to be happy and enjoy life. Happiness doesn't come from being rich, nor merely from being successful in your career, nor by self-indulgence. One step towards happiness is to make yourself healthy and strong while you are a boy, so that you can be useful and so can enjoy life when you are a man. Nature study will show you how full of beautiful and wonderful things God has made the world for you to enjoy. Be contented with what you have got and make the best of it. Look on the bright side of things instead of the gloomy one. But the real way to get happiness is by giving out happiness to other people. Try and leave this world a little better than you found it, and when your turn comes to die, you can die happy and feeling that at any rate you have not wasted your time, but have done your best. Be prepared, in this way, to live happy and to die happy. Stick to your Scout promise always, even after you have ceased to be a boy, and God help you to do it. Your friend, Baden-Powell.
Thank you, Bob. I'd now like to ask Walker Committee member and Eagle Scout Hunter Foote to play Amazing Grace. Thank you, Hunter. I'd like to ask you to join me in the singing of taps. The words are in the program as well. Day is done, gone the sun, from the lakes, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest. God is nigh, far away, bugles play, sound the taps for the close of the day. Night has come, gone the sun. Day is done. I'd now like to ask Troop 257 to return the flag on the main staff to full staff, please. Please rise. Scout salute. Two. Guests may be seated. At this time, we have a tradition that we give streamers to all the units who are in attendance here today. If you look at some of the unit flags, you can see that some of them have attended many, many events. And I'm sure on several of those flags you'll see ribbons from previous Walker memorials. This year, because it's the 50th, or I guess 50 plus 1, we have a special gold ribbon that was made for today for this event. And I would like to ask, starting with Troop 257, if you would come around the circle back here and lower your flag. We'll put the ribbon on for you, and then all of your other units, please follow around just the unit flags now. Don't need the Americans, just the unit flags. If you would come around, and we will put the streamers on your flagpole at this time. That concludes the ceremonial part of today's events. Upon the dismissal, the units are going to go out the way that they came in, and those of you who are guests are free to join us. Well, everyone actually. We have refreshments. There's a small building up at the top of the hill there, and we have some refreshments. There's also a painting, a Walker Memorial painting, for you to take a look at, and some of the actually a copy of the original program is up there as well. For everyone in attendance today who would like one, we have a special commemorative patch. We started giving out shoulder strips a number of years ago, and then last time we held it, we had a red bordered patch. This year, because of the golden anniversary, we actually have a gold bordered patch. It's really slick, and the folks who are here today are the only people that are going to be getting them, okay? And so even if you have a council strip from before or a red bordered patch from before, I'd like you to take one of these this year. And if I could ask the unit leaders to please take a head count and have one person from each unit. The patches are up above. I have a few down here for family members who may be interested. But if you could, rather than having everyone get their own, if I could ask someone from each unit to take charge and give the count up above, and you can have those patches to distribute to the scouts and scouters in your unit, okay? I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all the people that helped make this event successful. Troop 257, Pack 128, all of our presenters, Ryan, Joe, Mark, Ann, Michelle, Bob, Hunter, and Dave Hardy's, who's doing the refreshments up above for his work and the patches, and also Tom Chamberlain for helping to arrange for the wreath. And I'd like to thank the folks from North Brookfield Cable for providing the sound and recording today's ceremony. They've done a great job. They were here hours and hours ago to get ready for this, and they'll be here long after most of us have left, because they have a lot of wires to roll up here. But they did a great job, and they continue to do a great job for us. We really, really appreciate that. It makes this event a lot easier for the rest of us. I'd also like to thank the town of North Brookfield and the cemetery folks for allowing us the opportunity and preparing the site for us, and all the families and friends who took the time to come out and spend time with us today. Your loved ones individually and collectively meant a great deal to us, and we're glad that we were able to provide this opportunity for you to be with us today. Lastly, all the scouts and scouters, it's an important thing we do to acknowledge those who have gone before us, and I want to thank you for making the effort to come today and to be part of this organization. Lastly, I'd like to ask you to put Saturday, June 4th on your calendar. It's always the Saturday after Memorial Day, except for this year. So it'll be next Saturday, next June 4th, Saturday after Memorial Day. So please, you're welcome to join us. Families, if you want to come back, you're welcome to do that as well. It's not, you'll find us here. So, and we hope you took some comfort in what we provided for you today. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to please rise. And I'd like to ask Troop 257 to please lead the procession. And again, thank you all for coming.